scientifically there.
Wonderful, wonderful. He wants to check what is the difference between a normal person and excited by financial incentives. Great, great. Note down. We will first collect ideas
What
and
is?
then
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great. But one thing you have to remember, it's not a high density, right? So only 14 samples. So you can't say the difference between A and B and C. Because it's too global, which is still good.
And how many of you are ready to work for data science and analysis of data? Are there any computer science, IT people? Oh, you all know that R programming, Python programming, this, that? Great. So we'll give you a lot of data and you will analyze it a lot. So throughout your career, you will be able to make phone calls from years to years and generate lots of information out of that. So great. I wanted some such thing. And who else had thought of anything else? Some bright idea? All ideas are bright ideas only. Yes.
Neuron connectivity due to lack of sleep or proper sleep.
I don't know. We'll have to think over how will how will we set up the experiment, but definitely yes.
That is a great experiment. And the idea of having good sleep and sleep that makes you feel like you had good sleep. So your rating of the sleep is very important. If you have bad sleep, close to you. Yeah, if you have bad sleep,
I'll go there, no problem.
yeah, we go far apart. We're like opposite, positive and negative. Um, and so if you have very bad sleep for a long time, it can put you into a disease. So there's two diseases, Parkinson's. If you had poor sleep for many years of your life, it's a stressor on your body and it makes you lose neurons. So you have to all sleep well to preserve. And then anxiety and depression push you into disease too. So that's a great question.
Here, I remember one of our colleagues. He works in one of the institute. Actually, his friend owns it. Insomnia. In Thane only, their research lab is there. So maybe if we can set up something depending upon or whatever relevant to this experiment, we'll have data from them to compare. How do they detect, analyze, how do the cost effectivity, feasibility, that also could be studied. Yes.
So recently, I read a this research paper about a person having dissociative personality disorder. So in which he had two identities. So in one identity, he was allergic to peanut, and in another identity, he was not allergic to peanut. Or based on his identities, there were two different functions of his brain. So I would like to know ki what happened. Like the brain is same. He assumed his identities are different, and because of that, the entire reaction, his behavior, his liking is working in a different pattern. So what could be the neurological functions or differences or simulation in the brain that could make it happen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a very known thing. And yes, last year, one young girl like you, I met her in this one, what it is called as Nirikshan Griha, remand home. So she had two personalities. I didn't know that split personality test. And of course, there is one very big, very famous
right? And that's what is beautiful about it. That's great. Very good idea.
Yes, please.
So, sir, we are mass media students here, and we think that we can do a comparative study on different kinds of movies seen by focus groups. How movies affect the brain or energies produced by people after seeing certain movies like rom-coms or action thrillers, and we can do a comparative study on that.
Great. That is what one I had thought of. Yes, we can do that. Anybody else here? Here?
So, in relation to the movies, of course, but if I take certain examples, I want to do an experiment that is associated with people who like to watch horror films and it helps them to get their stress released, and the people who don't like to watch such sort of films and who don't want to get their stress released. So this is a few of the experiments. I'm not really sure about what I'm going to
You are
do,
sure, we are sure, all are sure.
but that's the thing that I want to
Yes, great idea. Yes, any idea, any other? Number count is less than this side. So you please come up with ideas. No idea? Now sir will tell us some ideas. You have to balance the count, sir. This side more ideas they generated.
For the old age people who are feeling the problem of loneliness, they do not want to discuss about they are not getting opportunity to discuss because they are alone so many times. And can we compare with the people who are in the group of the same age and who are alone people?
Old age home
And all that.
The normal home,
yes.
and staying alone,
Yes.
emptiness syndrome.
Right.
Good, which are?
Yes.
Yes, madam has. Again the count is getting lesser. Huh?
Yeah, there is a questionnaire now that the UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, developed a loneliness questionnaire that we could ask
Yes.
people to fill out and correlate that to the EEG signals that we get. Yeah, very easy.
May I?
Yes.
I think being from college fraternity, and what we typically see the students between the age group of 18 to 20 to 25, it's their career making age. So there are lots of factors which actually, influence their psychological status. And one of the major factor is, I think what I have seen is family situation, separating parents or such kind of situations, and breakups. So such kind of things, I don't know whether they would have any effect or not, but that background.
Let the machine tell you.
Yes, because that I think has a lot of effect on their careers, especially the
Yeah. So it seems yes.
That adds a lot of stress to their life. And when they're in a stress situation, they can't learn. It's a great question.
If you are talking about college life, then obviously we are more of interested in learning how to do an effective work. So using this application, we can get data from various individuals on how focused they are and when they're burned out. Like if an individual is particularly practicing some physics problems, since I'm from physics background, so if a particular individual is practicing physics problems, so what is the rate of efficiency that it produces for a particular hour or 2 hours, and then developing an like a particular plan which includes like after 10 minutes you take a break and you study for 1.5 hours, then again for 50 minutes or something like that, the time varies, and we can assume a research for. We can also give particular individuals what are the different times and efficiency they need to develop themselves. And yeah, we can just try to
So I'd like to say something to that. So
Blade.
So this is an example of the data you will get from this EEG system. So EEG cannot answer every question because the signal from the brain is very low, so you have to average many people. So Ambu just said yesterday, having subjects of like somewhere between 50 in your groups would be great. Like this group here, if everyone was a subject in our studies, in multiple studies, we will have enough power to look at something different. So this is an average of 20 people who are older, and these are an average of 20 people who have the disease, Parkinson's, right? So when you look at it, you average across that, and you can see there's probably not much difference across the two. This is before, so the pre is before dance class, right? And then this here is the post after dance class, right? And so when you look at it, there's a small difference between there, but not much. The people with Parkinson's, right, with just the measure of EEG, not looking at the clinical test, not looking at sex, not looking at age, you just look at it and you see maybe there's a small difference between the pre and the post, right? But just subtle. It's very subtle because the signal is very diluted from the brain, right? One of the people on this side talked about neurons, right? We're not measuring 1 neuron or 10 neurons. We're measuring millions of neurons, but the electrical activity that is measured on the scalp. So you can never say anything about neurons. The measure is group of millions of neurons, right? And in the task in these ones, they're just sitting and thinking about random thoughts. Oh, I liked my lunch. I liked my breakfast, it was beautiful. I liked the conversation. What am I gonna do later? All these random thoughts when the person is sitting here, eyes closed, right? And that's it. So there's some questions that will be answered by some of your ideas, but some answers we may not get at the end of the year, right? So this is something to think about. But the most important thing we're going to do over this time is everyone here will learn the scientific process, right? You're going to learn how to use the devices. You're going to think about the experiments like you are now. We're going to help you design it. We're going to help you run it. And we're going to advise you how to write it. After we have ethics to do the studies, which there's people in the room that are going to help us with. Right? So some answers we may not get, but it might be the first step to then getting something else in the future. And you can use the preliminary data like this. So this is not published yet. This was a biology master's thesis in 2015. And this student now is a lawyer. She went to law school. Right? But it was a stepping stone to her career because she learned the process. Right? So maybe some of you will turn into other careers, but you're going to learn the process and you're going to be able to evaluate science better. And that's the real aim of the year. Right? Okay. Any more ideas?
Is this possible to measure stress level of the employee before weekend, after weekend? Because here is a problem with every employee, because he is happy, even he has worked 5 days or 6 days whole week, but he knows very well tomorrow there will be holiday. So his stress level may be decreased, and if tomorrow I have to come in the office or
so office is a stressful entity or not that you want to measure?
Yes. even the competitor.
College is a stressful entity or not?
Now in many government there are classes whether weekend should be for 1 day or 2 days. So
Work
that
hours,
data.
8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours optimization can also be seen.
Yes. So even weekend also, what will be the effect for 1 day? What will be the effect for 2 days? And then we can suggest someone with scientific data we can actually.
Yes, yes, surely we will be able to.
Yeah, it's a great idea. You just have to design it in such a way that you have 20 or 30 people who are doing 1 day of weekend and 20 or 30 people who are doing 2 days. And they know this when you measure this. Right? And then it's easy. You might have to measure 40 people because there might be some of them where the scan doesn't work perfectly. So you might end up with 30 or 25 because some of them might have too much noise. But you have to try, right? But that's a great idea.
Good morning, sir. Basically, the screening time for kids or for students, it is increased after COVID. So can it be measurable that what are the changes when they have on screen and it can be measured when they are on the ground?
Yes.
That would be great. I would love to be able to tell my children that screen time is bad and have scientific proof. But yeah, that's easy to do. I don't know if the answer will be showing up in the EEG. It might show up in the questionnaires as well, but you have to try. That's a great answer. A great question to test.
One area is, since many years I've been thinking, there are people who are not able to identify their gender. So in their case, not related to this. Not able to identify gender means they don't know, and it's a serious problem. They don't know whether they are male or female. Currently their sex is written as male, but they feel like they are female. And when they are given, technically they are called as female, biologically said in the medical documentation, but they feel like male. If they are female, they feel like male. So tomboyish kind of girls sometimes we see, but they are very what I can say borderline cases. After a while, when they get married, this that they become like normal women. But there are more serious cases. Now they feel like committing suicide. If you don't recognize them with the gender they want you to be. And for us, it is difficult to identify with the gender which we don't see them like. For others, but it's a very difficult problem. I was counseling many people like them. Then I came to know that the counseling was difficult because, first of all, even if I am so kind and hard and if I think, yes, if they want me to call as a boy and even if she looks like a girl, I should mentally prepare that myself that I will call her as a boy or other way around. At least for a girl, calling as a boy was not much difficult than other way around, calling a boy as a girl. Yeah, you can imagine how would it look like. But it happens. And then I started telling them, why do you want to think so? They say, oh, we feel like committing suicide if you don't do that for us. Then that's something mental. And all my friends used to tell me, you are such a person, you encourage these people and that's not good. I used to tell them, come up. If you are not feeling well with your gender, just declare it. I am not okay with this. Please be kind enough to me, call thanks. Fine. But then society is not like that. Others told me it is not good that what you are counseling. So my intention, my idea was to, some way we should prove, okay, yes, this is something chemical disorder in their brain. So you have no right to say that. Suppose today I got influenza. How can you deny that I got influenza? At that time somebody has corona. How can we deny that they got corona? It is like that, no. So if it is proven, it's not natak. In our word. Generally people say, natak. It's not natak, it may not be, we do not know. Actually we are enough fortunate that we do not know. But then can we try such things also? And Mumbai definitely we get third gender people large in numbers. Colleges nowadays conduct camps for them, for their awareness and all that. So maybe we will try with such things also. Okay? We were thinking like a free data and free thought experiment.
Yeah, that would be great to do. Yes.
So if we could get something like this, sir says Parkinson means this kind of curve. So similar way, not identifying with your personality means something. So if your graph says so, you don't say that is matter. You have to be kind enough to the people. So that kind of thinking also could go there. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say?
Catching up.
So you are happy, no? So many ideas.
Oh, so great. Yeah. It's a beautiful morning.
We can see comatose patients, people who are already in the resting phase, whereas we can see normal people And we can even see hyperactive people due to some hormonal issues. They are hyperactive, like adrenaline and all of those which affect us. So their brain activity we can constantly monitor to understand what goes into their brain and how we can see what's happening.
No, those are beautiful questions. I don't know if you have access to comatose people.
Yeah, that is going to be difficult.
Yeah, we have to find them. But yeah, it's a great question. And a person who can't physically move their body, of course, is going to have no artifacts. There's no movement artifacts of them moving their head or moving their hands.
Yeah.
So we have clean data from their brain. Yeah. The tricky thing is to know if they are consciously aware of what's around them or if they're not, right? If they're in a vegetative state. But if they're in the vegetative state, their wave patterns will be way less. Yeah, yeah.
Well, for my idea, actually I have two ideas. One of them is, well, I am a chess enthusiast, so I would like to measure the brain activity of a chess player after he plays a really intense chess game and for a normal player, and to check whether if how much difference is there for a chess player of a brain activity of a chess player and a normal player. And the second idea is, what if we are able to measure the brain activity of a person who is almost about to die? What type of signal we can get from such a person?
Oh, wow. Nice. Beautiful question. That's a great question. Yeah. I don't know how we would get brain activity of a person who's about to die, but it's a very important question of what is happening in those few moments before we expire in this life, and if there's an afterlife. It's a beautiful question. I'm a chess enthusiast too. What's really funny is this morning, before I started work, when I was downstairs, I texted my uncle and asked him if he plays chess, because I don't know of this when I go back to Goa, because I have no plan for the week. And we'll see what he says on my phone. But I've taught my kids to play, and we play chess all the time, and that's an easy question to do, because you can wear the cap while you're playing chess. You just are still, and you just move your move. Or you could even say, move A, move queen to A to, yeah, you can just say it. And during the speaking part, you might not get brain activity that's clean, but in between you would. So yeah, a chess game lasts, what, I don't know, half an hour or something, depending on the game. So you can easily do that. That would be great, especially if you videotape it or record what's happening, and if they somehow evaluate with questionnaires after how intense the game was, or if they won or lost. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah, great questions. Go ahead.
So sir, basically yesterday we were talking about the Sanskrit mantra chanting and the memory, the relation to the memory. So I was thinking about doing some, because I don't know Sanskrit, but we were planning to do a study based on some mantras like Mahamrityunjay mantra and Hanuman Chalisa. Those are,
yeah, I don't know these, but
yeah, so those are basically religious mantras. So there was basically a study in 2015 to 18 in Chennai by Dr. M.K. Kalavani, the effects of Mahamrityunjay mantra chanting on memory and visual and auditory reaction time on school students. So there's a study of 73 pages. I found it, so I have to read this book and then I'll be doing this. So my question is, can we speak during we are wearing the cap?
Yeah, you can speak, but it may cause an artifact, which I'll show you some artifacts in this thesis. And I'd like to send this thesis to somebody who has everyone's email, so that everyone can read it. So this is a thesis. Yeah, and then you can all see how artifacts of like making eye movements or blinking cause artifacts. But if you're about to speak or chant, the activity just before it, before the movement and before the artifact, you can use, because that's preparatory state.
When it is chanting mantra, there is a requirement of moving it.
Okay.
Swarita,
So,
Udatta, and the swara.
yeah. So this.
Move the heads like
Yeah. So this.
and then dhatka like this.
So this may be bad for the equipment.
No, but sir, you said no. Once we had this, we will have this as an intervention.
Yeah.
Post intervention we can check.
Yeah.
So
Post
that can be
intervention you
sure.
can check. Yeah.
We'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Post intervention.
Yeah. And
and we don't really need between intervention. We really don't need to check data will be also tremendous.
And I'm curious what that paper is. You'll have to send it to the group once it comes, so I get the paper. Yes. Yeah.
Great. Certainly. Yeah, you have. So now our madam, our lady of the day has come. So let her contribute. She has lots of ideas.
No, not that way, actually. So good morning, sir. So it's a great second day also, and I'd like to ask my students, are you enjoying?
Yes.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can see it because the benches are all filled up. So give a big applause to Dr. Desouza for his wonderful session. Clap loudly, yaar. मैं तो अगले जन्म में क्या होकर जन्म लोगे मालूम है ना? Yeah. So, sir, I'm interacting with my teacher that made me come today, and I'm hearing the ideas. So you are seeding lot of ideas to my students, and I'm very sure we will do an international seminar on this with good research papers. I assure you. Can I assure you on behalf of all of you? Yes, we are going to do a great job. Let's continue. We are here to hear him. Yeah.
Great. You have some ideas?
One thing, sir. I welcome the engineering staff. They are all over here. So can you all just stand a little? Yeah, there are people from engineering college who has joined today. So a big applause to all of them. Yeah, because Dr. Joseph was looking for some engineering student as well.
Because
so the teachers will take it more forward. Yeah.
Lots of responsibility we have to entrust to them.
Yes.
Since now we will generate ideas, we will generate data, but data has to be analyzed and all that has to be. Your students have to be doing those kind of things.
Yeah, you can take up this research project as such for the students.
Teresa, if you have any idea,
yes,
you want to explain, explore.
Sir, is there any way to...
One second. He has a follow-up question.
My question is, how many subjects do we need?
50 as a good number.
Yeah, 50 would be great for if you had, say this is one treatment. So say this is a group of people who are not chanting and not doing the intervention. So these are people who are doing a pre and a post at the same time. And if this is the pre before chanting, and then the chant happens in here, and then this is the post. If this, how long would the Sanskrit chanting take? 1.5 hours.
It is not like that. We will set up experiments according to our requirements.
Yeah. So say it is an hour and a half in between. So you do the pre first, you do the post after. You have an hour and a half in between. If you have 50 people on the top, you need 50 people in the bottom to then compare and do this grid. Now what is beautiful is if say someone back there has a film they're watching, and the film takes an hour and a half, and they have a control group too, then you could use the control group in your group because it's the similar age people, right? So, because that's what we did in our work. We had Parkinson's people who, yesterday I showed you how they progress over 3 years, and everyone knows the disease progresses in people. So we just have to get the data from the literature, and it exists, right? So within our group, we may be able to double dip and get a control group from there for you, right? And so then you don't have to do the control group, right? And so that's the beauty of doing this group project, because we can double use the data for different projects.
That's not my question, but will it not affect that? Suppose you are saying that dance group people can be control group people
No. So if you do a dance group people, the dance is at the top, right?
Oh,
say this is a control group that didn't dance.
I got it.
Right.
So there can be, his idea is we will have one control group and the readings of that control group will be compared with other
Yes. Control group has to be
So
there.
when I said 50 for the chanting, 50 for dance, but we can have only 50, they will be used for dance also, and this readings, we are using readings. So we will assume that all other parameters said same, maintaining same. Okay, this reading can go as a control group reading for that also, this also for everybody. good idea. Yeah, we are saving a lot.
Easy idea.
Yeah. No, we
Someone back there? Yeah.
put up any consent on age group from 18 to 80. So, let's take some normal persons. No other restriction. Because our interest is into finding out the intervention effect. Yeah, right.
Good morning. So is there any way how to measure how many neuron cells are active in our brain?
No.
Or how to test pituitary gland functioning?
Pituitary gland functioning, I don't know. We have a person here who studies immunology, and we'd have to ask other people. I've never measured this, so I don't know. But we can do samples of blood,
There are millions of
and
neurons.
within the group we have this. We could do samples of saliva we've done before, and you can correlate those measures with the EEG. But I've never measured neurons in humans. There are people who do it, but usually their brain is open. So we're not going to do that in any of our studies. We're not opening anyone's brain. But if we collaborate, so he talked about comatose people. So if he finds comatose people at the hospital, and there's a medical doctor or a team of people who are interested in our projects, maybe they collaborate with us and they give us data. So, or we get data with them. So you can easily put this cap on a person who has their skull open because they're going to do a surgery soon, right? So then you have the EEG, but you also have the electrode recordings at the same time. But this is, I don't expect to do this year. Maybe in 10 years from now, but later on.
However, my response to Teresa's question is, why
No, I talk, you have the mic. I want the answer from you.
Or not? That is what your yoga people say. If you do this, then pituitary glands gets function better, or thyroid gland functions better. Our interest is not to know why it happens. Interest is in how is it happening, is it beneficial or not. The whole objective of this all studies, which Professor Joseph does, is to help the society to lead the betterment. So as long as something is getting me better feeling, fine. Is it because of pituitary gland or some Y gland? How does it matter to me? It may matter to medical person, I am not denying that. But for this experiment, we want to see the results. So the result-oriented experimentation, and then see, suppose you can even reverse engineer that way. Think of the people according to your logic, their pituitary gland is not working very well, and some intervention you plan where they say the pituitary gland functions better. Now check the difference between the two, and you may get the answer that what difference, how the difference is visualized. This could be exercise. Like Professor said, ki Parkinson means this curve. You come up with that research and show that pituitary gland means this curve or this parameter, this number, whatever it is. It is possible. So that way, that's what I said. It is all up to you. You just come up with ideas and let us help you to orient the research. What can be your hypothesis? How can you experiment? What kind of results you may expect? How do you interpret them? So all that is possible. So don't get disappointed. Every idea is equally welcome.
Yes. Every idea is a research.
Yes.
Every idea is a
so
research.
much of research we can do. That itself is something exciting to me.
Yes.
Basically, two questions. Number one is, did you find any adverse impact on the object after recording these readings? And second is, the new era is coming with the AI. How you are going to take advantage of this in your experiment?
So, yeah, this is a great question. So, no person ever had an adverse effect from putting the cap on because it's non-invasive, right? Like they get their hair a little wet because we have saline we're putting on the head, so their hair might get a little messy, but that's the worst effect. The AI is when you collect the data, then you start putting it into models as inputs. And that's the beautiful part we're attempting to do in our ideas. And all the ideas you have here, and the few engineers that came and the computer science people, this is what we can do. And this is what the aim is.
Yeah, but more and more robotics parties now.
I haven't done anything with AI yet. We have, so I didn't show a video of a person with Parkinson's, but you can all imagine as a person gets the disease progressing, can't hear them anymore, right? And so in all the clinical tests we've ever done, we give them, at the start of the clinical test, we give them a picture, and they, for 1 minute, talk about the picture. And they speak about it. They say, oh, there's a lady, and she's, spilling some water, and their kids are in their kitchen playing. It's a picture of a kitchen. And then we use that as an input to an AI machine language model to try to predict who is at a different stage of disease. So that's the only thing I'm doing right now with kind of machine learning AI stuff, but in the speech domain, to try to predict who has it.
Yeah, but when you take this number of objects, what about their physical conditions? I mean, they have same physical condition?
Of the people with Parkinson's?
No. When you collect the objects for experiment, what about their physical conditions?
They were different.
I don't understand.
Talking about patients. So yesterday you missed, so you don't know. So what he showed was only the objective was they had Parkinson. So there were age difference, family background difference, anything. We are not bothered about it just now. That's why I said this is a focus study. You instead of one objective and focus on that parameter, let all other parameters be changed. Like that's why we could suggest this, we have one set of control group and that is applicable to for the comparison of all other experiments. Like somebody will talk on pituitary gland, somebody will talk on like the chemicals in brain, or they all want to test their horror films and what all not. So everything we will compare with that standard. So it means we don't count that diversity. We focus on one object.
So can this be help to those mentally challenged
yesterday
kids, especially? I mean, looking after their pain, parents' pain. So can this be help?
Yes, it was started with that. I work with them, so I wanted to check something. What happens for one intervention with them? So that's in search of that we got Professor Jose. So definitely we are interested in experimenting with neurological disorder. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Now Madam got idea.
I was just talking to one of my friends. She's a doctor and she has a hospital in Thakur complex very close by, and she's treating patients with Parkinson's diseases. So she was very enthusiastic and she's coming to meet you. So she has got a lot of data with us. So today she'll be there at 11 o'clock. So she said that if you could collaborate up with something, because she has got a lot of patients with her. She's treating them medically. And when I talked to her about this idea, she was very enthusiastic and she's coming to see you today.
Oh, that's great. And then we... Yeah, and ideally, maybe one of the projects of somebody who is interested in this can do a dance or music intervention with some of those people. Yeah, and then they copy this and see whether people who live in India who have the disease, do their brains look like the top ones?
Yes.
Or is their brain special?
Yes, we were talking on this just now. Our body mass, and then his observation was our body mass index itself different. That's why I said, okay, that must have some parameterization, change in parameterization. So what he has got, we need to collaborate. Is it equally applicable to Indians, or we get something else? And if we get something else, then definitely we are done with our research. And even if we could say that this is something similar, that is also research. So,
and what's beautiful is, so I told you this is a master's thesis in biology that was finished in 2015, and now the person's a lawyer in Toronto, but no one else in the world is doing this work. So I'm not too rushed to publish it, right? If I knew a lab in, like, say, Wake Forest University in the US was doing this study, I need to publish it fast. But I know no one's crazy enough to do this, like I did, because I spent too much time to do it. And so I'm not in a rush to publish it, because I know that I'm going to continue doing it until I get a really high impact paper, where I can say, you know, if a person's dancing for 7 years, and we measure their brain activity, and their disease slows down, and the neuron populations doing DTI, which we haven't talked about, look stronger, which we have this data, and they're all happier, then that's a very high impact paper. It gives hope to people with the disease, where there is no hope, right? And that's what my aim is. But it might be a 10-year paper. This might come out in 2025, or 2028, or 2030, right? There's no rush.
Actually, it's very good that you got one medical practitioner working in this field. That is something very difficult for us to find out. And if she collaborates with us, she can give us number of patients, and we have enough enthusiasts to try different interventions. So comparatively, which intervention works better, that also we can find. Right. Yeah, wonderful ideas could be inculcated. You have 40,000 students. That's a wealth. That's a strength. That's what we are discussing in the morning. Together.
There's 40,000 students on this campus?
Yes, not this campus. 14,000.
14,000. Okay, that's
but still 14,000, it's not a small number. So that's what you
have to buy way more instruments. I don't have grant money yet, but we will get.
You will become one of the eye-catching research center. Hope so. We will one within a year, definitely.
So it sounds like we're one more question, and then I'm gonna try to show you how to do this. But it's going to be hard, so I think maybe I'm going to come in the middle of the room and show you how to put the little wet felt tips in, and maybe we put it on my head or something, and we see if we can see the activity. And then there's 2 more caps. Some of you can practice, maybe Anbuja and you practice, or somebody, we just like pick a number or something, and then we just keep trying it. So we have one computer there that can read the EEG, and we just try, right? Just practice.
But there are 2 persons they want to share ideas,
yeah.
So we'll take them and then.
Yeah. And I think what we can do. I didn't try this yet, but like if I turn this one on, it gets read by the computer. But if I turn it off and turn another one on, I think it's going to get read by the computer, right? So we can try different people, and see if it works, right? So. Go ahead.
Sir, in India, Ayurveda, the traditional medicine system, describes people's constitutions on the concept of Prakriti, and like Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So we had conducted one study in which we wanted to know whether the response to different stimuli vary in these different type of people, especially with respect to cellular immunological responses. And we could find that there is variation. So similarly, can we do a testing to find out whether there is a variation to different stimuli with respect to their EEG activity?
Especially if we use those biomarkers you've already measured.
Yes.
Yes, we span across all the people, and we see if they cluster.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
In correlation with some cellular responses also.
Yeah, that you've already recorded immunology-wise.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Thank you.
So there are people who bottle up their emotions, like they tend to suppress it. And there are people who regulate their emotion regularly. So what could be the difference, like how this suppressing of emotion could affect their brain or efficacy of the brain? So I would like to know that. And the next question is, I always had this question, does logic and emotion goes hand in hand? Because when we have to process emotional trauma, we have to apply logic to it, the sequence, how it happened, why it happened. But we are always of the opinion that logic and emotions are poles apart. So what is your opinion as a psychologist?
So these very crude measures, it's harder, I think. This is an empirical question to look at. There are studies done with this emotive cap on emotional processing, and one of the modules within the kind of AI algorithm to decode what's happening on your scalp to make a avatar be happy or sad is there. So I've never looked at emotion with the emotive cap. We're doing that now where we're looking at people who filled out all the questionnaires related to mood, and we're now clustering that with the EEG that we're analyzing. But we don't have an answer to that. With fMRI, it's easier. So fMRI that I told you guys about last week, just gonna go to this computer for a second, and don't have it.
Sir, I'll take 1 minute.
Yeah, you go ahead while I open up the PowerPoint from yesterday.
This is again related to Indian knowledge system, and I think I'm privileged to answer you. I was telling you my journey started with Jadavpur University Nyaya Vaisheshiko study. So Nyaya Vaisheshiko is Indian logic. And the first, you can read the book that on become Navya Nyaya, new logic, new Indian logic. So the definition, they define all these things. What is emotion? Which emotion? So all that is defined means it is logical. So logic and emotions cannot go hand in hand. Who says that? That I don't know. Many people are of the impression, but personally I don't feel in that. I don't think that is right, because you can take examples of great philosophers, Indian philosophers at least whom I know. Like for example, Rabindranath Tagore. Was he not a philosopher? Was he not a poet? Have you read something of him? Literature. So is he sensitive brain or not? So emotions and logic have gone together. Take example of Henry D. Thoreau. Gandhiji was inspired by him. You must read this. Henry D. Thoreau, his autobiography. He is a very close to nature and so much sensitive person, but at the same time his logic, high class philosopher he was, and logic definitely was working. So take any example, Vivekananda for example, Lokmanya Tilak in Maharashtra if you want to say. So all these things, all these nowadays that has been changing our thinking of education system only. Our students, science students, all that was not there existing. The people who work brain, actually I always feel that the good poetry, consistent poetry has been written by them who have already produced good poetry of mathematics also. A glaring example is Lokmanya Tilak. The Gita Rahasya, if you read, you will understand. His observations on Aryans, how they came and established themselves here. He had given a lot of information about the celestial entity and the situations in sky, and then so beautifully written. So all that tells us that it is not so. But yes, I would like to test it. Having said so, again this is a subjective experience. But how can we make it objective? Yes, you can take a person like me who has degrees in arts and science. So then check how is my brain. You can take somebody who is only in arts. You can take somebody who is only in science, and see if we see such patterns over there, and then we will come to a conclusion. And if you might know some people, I know one of my colleagues in IDOL, who is now director there. Professor Rathod is an English person, and he is from Banjara family. So that's why he knows that folk and all very well. And whenever he speaks me, I am more happy than to speak to any maths person. Because his logic is much better than a maths person logic nowadays. And he also feels that he is comfortable with me on talking about literature than anybody else in his group in English and all. So we should try and analyze the brains of such people. Like people were interested in trying analyzing Lata Mangeshkar. Similar way, these are opportunities. Find out different personalities and see that's what I was telling him. I am not much into that. We want to focus on one particular hypothesis. Let it be free experiment. Just why not all of us put that cap on our head, see what is there. One small experiment I was suggesting. Every one of us now assume that we are in one state of mind because we all have come to this workshop. Now let's reading of all of us. Let's take reading of all of us. Now everyone knows what makes me happy, what makes me angry or displeased. Take some 5 minutes, calm down yourself, get into the mood, what makes you happy, do that, take the observation, your own observation. Then again think that, hey, I don't like that. Do a particularly, deliberately do that. You will go into some different mood, take your observation and see is there any difference, observe. And then suppose something like reading, I like reading. There may be somebody who hates reading. So is it the effect of reading? Like what we now were talking so far, it is an effect of dance. But then in my proposition, it may not be so. I don't know. I don't want to deny his research. He has done enough. But then just to start up, okay, we can do something different. So try any kind of thing is okay. But be consistent with those data values. And luckily we have good number of students who want to try analyze data. Sir has promised to give us lot of data which already is there, analysis ready for analysis. Engineering teachers are there, they are waiting for it. They can form groups. So we will have wonderful year of experimentation. So today, I think we should start with experimentation.
And so, to your point about mood, I've never measured with the EEG caps we have here. But with this is the MRI that I showed you yesterday of people with Parkinson's. And this little orange red dot is an area that medical surgeons put electrodes in to help people who are chronically depressed. So it's an area, a node within the emotional circuit, right? So you can go in, you put electrical activity in there, and it makes very, very sad people where medicine and any kind of behavioral treatment doesn't help them. You put an electrical current in with an electrode and a battery, and it makes some of them feel better. So it activates the circuit. So what we did is we used that as a seed to look at what happens across time as people imagine the dance. So you all did that dance. Well, most of you who were here did the dance yesterday. The one where you're walking through and then you walk and you shoot, right? That one. They are at different stages of learning. So the blue was the first time, the pink was the second time, the third time, which was the yellow one, and the fourth time was this greenish one. And you can see the pattern. As they learn, it gets lower, right? And what's interesting, that signal is related to mood from other medical research. When we correlate, so this is a questionnaire that they filled out in the dance class. We gave them clipboards. They went through, I think it was 10 or 15 questions about their mood. This is before class in 7 of the people we put in the MRI. This is after class. And so almost all of them got better. This was in, I think, maybe March in one class. And then this was in June, right? So their mood is getting better. And what's important is that the questionnaires, this is the questionnaire, this is the brain signal, and it correlates. So we can now say this little red spot, which we know is related to mood processing in other humans, when people imagine their dance in the MRI, with the music that you guys all listen to, it changes across time and it correlates. So it's not measuring neurons, but it's deep in the brain. And so we can't really get this node because we're measuring on the surface. But this node talks to other brain areas and it activates the circuit. And that's an empirical question to test, just like Ambuja said. So you feel sad, then you feel happy. If you do 6 minutes of that, and then 6 minutes of neutral activity, you might be able to see something. Or maybe an AI model might be able to see it as an input. So these are great questions. Okay, so now let's move to this. All right, so I don't know what we'll do. Okay, I'm gonna maybe I'll do it in the middle of the room. Well, the first thing is I just have to show you how to put it in. It's not easy. So, but I don't need volunteers yet. I'm just gonna, I don't know if the camera can come up here, or do I come to the camera?
You have to come to the camera.
Okay, I come to the camera. So maybe if somebody can help me move this table.
Sir, we can zoom it, but we can zoom it to you.
But can you zoom to this?
Zoom kar. We'll try, sir, we'll try. Just hold it in your hand.
But we have to move there anyway because this doesn't talk to my computer.
Okay, then you have to
So
move.
let's just move closer.
Can I shift the table here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Just wait.
Okay, here. Okay, so that should be good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, somewhere here. Okay, and then move this a little bit. So, where's the microphone?
Yeah.
So these are all older pieces of equipment. The last time I used any of these in a study was before COVID.
Display it on the screen, no? Whatever is happening here.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
So that all of us need not move this. We
Well,
can
you
watch-
need to see. You need to
It's
see.
there on YouTube. It's there on YouTube.
YouTube could be projected here then.
No, eh?
No?
Picture in, that will become picture in picture. That won't.
fine.
Let me try.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Picture in picture is enough, no?
But
YouTube.
Eventually, we will need this. So,
And of course, all of us will try practically, but
Yeah.
till the time we can watch also.
फिर YouTube इस पे चलाना पड़ेगा.
hopefully this will go back on.
Sir, then you have to switch on YouTube on this laptop.
We can do that, yeah.
Then it can be showed there.
Okay, so then how do you type in the link?
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't
I'll
have
send
it.
you the- I'll send
But I don't have internet. You have to put it. You have to put internet on this laptop.
Yeah, just
Okay, so I'm going to do this while I'm doing this. They can do this. So yesterday, you all know we put saline in these little felt tips.
Sir, आज का
that
link
you all
भेजा
touched.
आपको.
So they're
उनको
now
भेज
very
दो.
wet. And then, here, can you hold this for a second? So I pick one out. What is this? And then I shove it in super easily. But because this is old, some of the things are weak, and sometimes they fall out, so you have to tape with electrical tape. So,
Sir, your voice is important.
yeah.
Somebody has to pick that
Hold the
mic. Hold the mic.
Yeah.
Just to tell the student will help out. Come, get up. While sir speaks, see that the mic is in front.
Yeah, but there's no, I don't need to talk about doing this, I'm just doing this.
Or you tell me how I will put, so that anyway I will have to.
You have to learn, yes. Yeah.
I'll have to
Here,
learn, no?
do your own.
Yeah. You also can come. There are three cats. One person.
But it's tricky, right? Like I've done this since
You
2012.
teach us, and
Yeah,
you have to.
yeah. So you pick out a wet one,
Principal
and then
ma'am.
you twist it
Ma'am, both side हो जाओ ना.
clockwise, like this, and push it in, and yeah, exactly like that. But don't squeeze out all the saline. If you squeeze out all the saline, it's going to be dry.
Yeah, it has to be wet.
It has to be wet. Yes.
Sir, आ रहा है क्या?
Yeah.
But it doesn't go completely inside.
No, it goes like this. It goes like this. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm putting it in.
Yeah, slowly you have to do it.
Yeah. These things are what? Maybe 8 millimeters wide, and you put it in about 4 millimeters into the slot.
Got it, sir.
And I do it in a kind of clockwise motion.
Yes. I'm
Because
also
it's
doing
the
the
thread.
same. Otherwise, it doesn't go inside.
Otherwise, it doesn't go in.
And what we can do is we can put drop in our finger on that only.
You can, but the idea is that you do this just before you put it on a person.
Yeah, I try
Thank
to.
you for holding the mic. Yes, so I never have reused the felt tips. I always throw them out after use. Just feels like we should, like, no one reuses a mask.
To focus on this screen.
It's like a race. Like race music. Joe's gonna lose. We got two good people. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna lose because I have to take one. So what's gonna happen sometime is these little gold connector tips that screw into the slot might have the slot broken. So you have to tape it in, and so I'm gonna be slower now because I think this one fell out, and now I lost it. So luckily I have another one.
How many are there in one?
There's 14. Oh yeah, this one fell out. See, so I put this one in, but it fell out. And if it's wet, then it's hard to tape. So there's lots of like little tricks that you will have to deal with. Ideally, you make sure your cap is all perfect before.
अंदर आ जल्दी आ अंदर कनेक्ट करना आप प्रथम साइकिल
And because I have problems with this one, now my other tips are drying out that I already put in, right? So you have this kind of like race. And you have, now, and I drop my tape into the wetness, which is even worse. Let's try it.
Password iPhone 13.
And sometimes when you put it on the person's head, it falls off. So then it's even worse. So if you have them all on, then we can try to put that on my head and see if it charges. So I have a few to go.
Put in this one also, sir? This one.
So that one we need to put this in. Yeah. Oh, I dropped this one again, yes, see? So we have to get someone very good to tape that one in.
How do you place this?
So it should screw in unless we have to put a piece of tape on it. But we need, does anyone have a Kleenex around here? That Kleenex box up at the front? Can somebody bring that Kleenex box? Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I need to dry it. It's too wet.
How did you put the tape over there?
Yeah, we have to tape it there. Oh, see, I lost another one, yeah.
Just pick up.
So I just tape around the outside. Yeah, but it's going to be dry. Yeah, maybe a little longer. Ideally, you tape them on strong before you put the saline in. So then they're dry. Yeah. This is where we need engineering help.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. I thought it might be not correct.
No. Yeah, I only did engineering for a few weeks of my career, and then I retired from engineering and went to science. So I think I told that to the students yesterday. Okay, so I have almost all of mine. Okay, so I don't know if anyone, doctor, you want to sit there? I'm going to put this on your head. I have almost all of them in except one that fell out. I need some tape, yeah.
Bigger one, this is little one.
So ideally we need to have measuring tape, and you measure from this spot to this spot, and then you put it a third of the way on his head, but I'll show you in a minute. And then a rough rule is 3 fingers from the eyebrow. With the top. I'll show you in a minute.
Sir, any consent to be signed by him?
What's that?
Any consent to be signed by you?
Yeah, we all have to have consent forms and signatures. This is just a demo. We're not going to use his data. Sorry. Yeah, we're just going to do demos. I actually, my ethics expired in Canada in November because we haven't done an experiment with the EEG since before COVID at a dance class. We stopped in 2020. And the dance classes didn't really start up till really last September in person. People were scared to start up. And some people still wear masks in Canada. So, okay, so then I have all my sensors now covered with saline. I don't know how good it was.
So this is swallowed now.
Oh, see, and I fell out, yeah. So, I have to put better tape. So that we...
Put it on his head and then put a tape.
Yeah, we can try that. So, yeah.
Then it will not fall.
Okay, this one in the front. So is this one close to done? Almost. This one is close? Yeah. So we'll wait. Okay, so we have to... Can someone go up to the front podium and see if there's a bag with some of the electrical like knob things?
So now we can see you.
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
No, there will be little delay.
Yeah.
Now
Little delay. So you're on
Little delay.
YouTube.
sir has to come here. Now he will not be.
So let me just try. I'm curious.
Yes, sir, yes. Come on this side.
Okay, I'm gonna just switch off this for a minute.
बटन कुठे आहे?
See if it goes on. Battery's defective. Maybe this one is not charged as well. Okay. I don't know which one I charged at my hotel. Let's see.
Experimental model.
Come closer. We can see. Can see.
Yeah, right. That's one thing.
Very exciting.
So what I
Yeah, Mike. Silent.
So what I would do in our normal experiments, the subject would come in. The first thing they would do is fill out consent, like you were saying, right? And they would fill out their consent, and then we would describe what we were going to do. So we would tell the subject, there's the EEG cap, we're going to put this on your head. Am I allowed to touch you, or is it okay to touch you?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to touch your head.
Yes.
And you'll feel some little wetness on your head at some point. And I'm going to squeeze your head with like a massage once I get this on. And then we put it on. Okay, so. And so the way I always did this is I would lift it and you kind of pull it apart. And you stretch it over the person's head, and this is sometimes where the saline things will fall out. Right, but it's tricky. And see, so one fell out, yeah. Yeah. And you want to put it? So, yeah, just give me a sec.
Has to touch.
Yeah, it has to touch to conduct. We might have lost one here. One fell out. That was kind of dry. And then I kind of use a rule of 3 fingers to the first sensors, but there's a couple that are missing. So, of course, the ones that don't have sensors in it are not going to conduct any electricity across, right? And then, is it on right now? We might be a little bit far.
So we push him here.
We might have to. Just one sec. Or he can get up.
Sir, aa jao thoda.
Yeah, you can get up and just turn. Since sit here. And normally in the lab or in the dance studio we make a little lab and it's all set up, right? And there's usually a computer on a table in front of the person and the thing is here and you just pick it up and put it. But there's a lot of. And then we're missing a couple, so this one has no.
Let's make space to so that you can see.
This one, this one, this one. Yeah, exactly. And then we just kind of move them all like this. And so this is missing 1, 2, 3. There's a saline tip missing out of this, so let me grab one of those. So we may not get any good data at all from this person, not because he's a bad subject, because we're bad experimenters. We're not ready, right? The last time I did this was 2018 maybe, 2017, physically myself, so you have to practice. You might get some water dripping down your face there. Okay, one's missing here, yeah, another one's missing here. So, but they're not even the caps, right? So, of course, it's turned on. We're having bad connectivity. Right, so it's connecting to the
Disconnected.
But it's still handshaking. And there's not, all of them are not there because I think we have one of the reference ones missing.
Okay.
Right? So you saw how all of them were green or all of them were black.
Yeah.
There should be one or two, there should be one or two that are gray, or not gray, orange or red. Red means bad, green means good.
Red
right?
means bad, green means good.
Yeah, and so you want to try to get all of them either orange or green, but I don't want to push too much on it because he's missing some sensors, so I'm essentially pushing plastic into his skin, which we don't want to do to anybody. Right? We want to make it super comfortable because when it's comfortable and it works fast, they don't have a lot of time they have to waste from their life. And then we want them to come back because almost all the things we talked about was a precondition and a post-condition.
And for a longer period.
Yeah, and so, but Ambuja and I were talking about many things, and one of the things is when we collect the pre from everyone, that's a separate experiment, right? So if we get all the pre's from every single person, every single study, if we do 70 times 50, that's a lot of subjects across the age span.
So the yellow shows what? There are orange.
Yellow is not so bright. Right?
Not so.
Yeah, we want to get everything green.
Is it in terms of connectivity or it's the subject?
It's not the subject, it's the
Connectivity.
the gadget is not tuned. Right? So we take it off because it's not comfortable. Right? Because it wasn't comfortable, right? It's not comfortable because it's missing some. It was missing 3 of them. So essentially you're pushing plastic into the person's head.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Right. It pains. It
It would pain, right?
I don't know.
No, it didn't pain. Okay. He's strong and tough. I would say it would pain. It would for sure pain, but maybe not for 6 minutes. Right? It's a little uncomfortable for 6 minutes. Right? But where's the student who wanted to play chess with it on?
Chess.
Where's the chess man?
Yeah.
The chess player here. If you had a chess game for half an hour, if there was a couple sensors missing, it would hurt.
Okay.
Because it's essentially pushing you on your head for half an hour. So the design of your experiment is optimal, right? We were going to test old people. Thank you very much. So we were testing old people, and I just imagined my mother doing this, right? I don't want to inconvenience my mother. So I wanted it super fast. So we picked 6 minutes because the literature goes somewhere between 5 and 8 or 10 minutes of the resting state. And I told you last week, or yesterday, it seems like last week. I told you I'm a vision scientist. I've been studying vision since the 1990s. So I wanted to do eyes open, eyes closed, so we get the visual signal into the brain. And those are the only reasons why we started this. And we picked this. So you guys might think of something else, right? And that's a good thing. Right?
Yeah,
so
but we will learn that, how to put the cap,
yeah. So
then how to capture
exactly.
signal.
All this is easy. It just takes time and
it.
efficiency. Yeah, the more you practice. Right? So I don't know if somebody's going to get Ambuja's prize today of who can collect the first set of data for practicing, but this is what you do. Right? You two have a little bit of practice.
So we need not
but
change this plugs even. Just how to put this cap and fix it. That is what we have to develop
practice,
our skills about. Isn't it?
Not very difficult. You just put on the head.
It's like that.
But we have to put it on in the right orientation.
Oh,
so we had it on the right orientation, and then three fingers distance is the first sensor.
Try on somebody else's head.
Yeah, but we're gonna add a couple of the sensors if we can.
But they're not getting fixed up. I tried.
We have to get better tape then. We need an engineer with better tape or medical tape.
Masking tape.
My tape is old. Yeah, I can be the guinea pig for sure. I will be guinea pig for sure.
And your consent is required.
I already consent. So what we do, turn it off. Let's just save the battery. Off and off. Yeah.
नाही सोलर टेप में क्या
हाँ मास्किंग टेप है wait I'll get it.
हाँ तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक लैब मध्ये आपण स्टिकर ना लावतो त्याला पण मटेरियल वगैरे
And this is the hardest part. making sure you learn how to do it. And each of you will be your own subject and tester and teacher and evaluator, right? And as I said, we have probably somewhere between 10 and 15 of these caps where an arm broke, or the battery died, and we can't charge it anymore, right? So it's the expense of using the data, collecting the data. And I told you the MRI work that we talked about yesterday, and even I showed you very quickly with that dance work in the one figure that we have submitted to paper. To collect that data was probably something like $20,000, because it's every time you collect 1 hour of MRI data, it's $400 Canadian at our scanner in Toronto, right? Whereas this cap cost $700 when we bought the last one in 2019, right? So you get to use it many times until it breaks, right? So, or until you can't fix it anymore, right? And so what's beautiful in this team is we have engineers who can help fix the few things. You can solder the thing in even, right? Or melt the plastic, something that keeps it in.
So he was nodding his head.
Yeah, nodding in the head is bad.
And even his eyes were open. So
eyes are open is fine. Yeah, but when the eyes are open, if the person's making eye movements around, that causes an artifact. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the instructions need to be given earlier.
Instructions are given earlier, yeah. The person walks in, they sign the consent, and then I have a description of what you tell the person.
So is this done in a closed setup?
Yes,
Because
yes,
right
yes.
now there are many people.
Yeah, there's only, we usually do it in a room, and the desk is facing the wall, and there's a computer screen that has a black screen on it with a cross. So we tell them, when your eyes are open, you just look at the cross. Sometimes we have a computer program that says, open your eyes, close your eyes. Right? So it's exactly the same for every subject. And the scene is exactly the same. It's just a wall. Right? This is a disaster for experimental control.
Exactly.
Right? And we would never do it this way.
Psychological experiments are also not done in this setup.
No.
Without the instruments also, they are not done in this setup.
No, this would be done in a single room where there's no one else except the experimenter and the subject. And then when the subject has it put on, the experimenter in our setups would leave the room, close the door, and the program collects the data for 6 minutes. The program says, open your eyes, close your eyes. We already told them when you open your eyes, you look at the cross, so then you don't lose data from people making eye movements or blinks. And we tell them to be relaxed, and we tell them don't move. So they're sitting in the chair relaxed, and then you leave. And so then the data from all the people we collected is the same setting, as best as you can control. Right? We always tried to do it at one dance class, which was at 10 a.m. So everyone was in their same circadian rhythm too. Yeah, so everyone was in the same circadian rhythm to control the light that they saw in the day. I know that most of the people who came to our class, they usually take their medicine just before they come, so that they feel when they're dancing, they're as best as they can be, so they don't potentially fall, right? But we didn't ask that. We didn't say, when did you take your last medicine?
It doesn't break.
In the medical questionnaire. But there's all these things you try to control, so that if you see a difference across the groups, you know you've controlled about it. Right? So, but this is a terrible setting. This is not an experimental setting. Even if you collected all your data, like you're crowded with people, people are around you, you're just listening to things, you would never be able to use the data, right? Because you want to be in a quiet setting with no noise.
He was very cautious also, that everyone is like seeing him.
Yeah. So he did not habituate to the situation.
मैम ये ट्राई करूँगी मैम दलवी सर आए हैं
Please come. Yeah, please come.
Yes, that's a great setting.
Yeah.
We can also take.
She's a doctor who wanted to meet Dr. Joseph Desouza. He's working on Parkinson's, and he's demonstrating those experiments over there.
I'm failing demonstrating it. Okay. The first attempt didn't work.
Yeah, we are working on Alzheimer's, something similar.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we will have a chance to talk at lunch maybe. Yeah. This is great. Thanks for coming. Do you have a far journey?
Yeah, there is a further journey.
She has a hospital in just close by, and she's working with Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah, we did a complete psychiatric center that treat everything like, schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, MDD, everything, and dementia. And now we are coming out with Alzheimer's, a food center 100 bedded. Wow, with a different scheme.
So is it the person is there forever?
Yes. Yeah, person is forever.
Yes.
And no yeah, because they
so it's
cannot
inpatient for
yes, 100 beds, like,
100 beds, all inpatient.
we cannot change much of the treatment, but the lifestyle can be maintained very well because in this whole center, which is with the name of Sunshine Wellness Center, yeah, we've got Sunshine Wellness Center. Yeah. The first center, which is Sunshine Wellness Center, we've already got 20 Alzheimer patients. And treatment-wise, I can tell you that they are definitely living a very good life, in the sense they eat well, they go to sleep, they come out in the rec room, they play some games and all that. They are much better than what they were at home. At home, everybody has.
So you're trying to keep them happy?
Yeah, and at least a disciplined life, A disciplined life. They get up in the morning, they go for the loo, and all this toilet training also is started for them, and almost they are trying to pick it up. It's really great.
He's been working for last 10 years on Parkinson's disease.
Alzheimer also you're working?
Very little with Alzheimer's. Parkinson's.
Okay. Parkinson's. Yeah. So you are advising those surgeries, like,
No. I am a neuroscientist, not a medical doctor. So I study brain processing, typically in normal people. And the last 10 years, we started to do dance for people with Parkinson's to help see if it helps their movement. A lot of people in the world have shown that dance helps their movement symptoms.
And they continue their medications.
They always are doing the medication. It's an additional therapy. Yeah, it's added to their normal practice.
This is Dr. Jai. He's from London. He's in radiology.
Okay, great.
MSK.
Yeah, so I've done fMRI with people with Parkinson's learning dance, and we use this EEG cap, or these ones, to look at a 6-minute resting state before dance class, and then immediately after class. And we started that around 2013-14, and we ended when COVID ended. So we have a data set of about 6 or 7 years, about 50 people with Parkinson's and about 40 people who are their partners, age match controls, all dancing. And we showed a little bit of a change in their alpha rhythm after dancing.
Okay, so they come down for a certain time and they go back. Or they stay there?
They are all in the community.
They are all
Yeah, there's not a single person who's an inpatient.
Some special type of dance movements, or
No,
just
any kind.
Any kind. So just
it's done at a ballet school or at a church. Okay, so she's going to try on me. That's great.
Yeah, this is that instrument.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't see it. Yeah.
Little more down in this way. Yeah, this way. You should touch here. Okay. Yeah.
So the top sensor, these 2 front ones, you want to put like
this
here. Yeah.
Yes.
So you pull it apart. That's right. That's good. I always like it because it feels like a massage, a wet massage. 14 wet fingers touching your head. It actually helps my migraines a lot. Thank you.
So he's pressed all the soft parts.
Okay, so now turn on the gadget wherever the button is and see if it connects to that USB.
First, you all connected.
And there should be a little button at the back here.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
hopefully it connects. If not, maybe turn it off and pull that USB out of the computer.
Just a second, I'll do it.
Yeah, pull it out and then
I'll
go on.
Switch off, sir.
It's already.
Off, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then pull it in and out, and then you know how it asks for
Just wait,
experimenter? Yeah, say Joe. Okay.
Now put it on. Put it on.
Hit OK on the computer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then the battery should maybe turn it on and off again.
Off again.
Because the first thing should work is the battery. It says no battery master detected. Turn it on now, or is it on? This is weird. Maybe do it again, but turn it off.
Put it off. You can take out. Put it
Just
off.
try anything. Pull the USB out.
Yeah, done.
Excuse me.
Shove it back in.
Oh,
Yeah. Nice meeting you. I hope to talk to you again here for a few more days. And we hope to come back in December.
Okay.
Well, we can do more research once we are here, and then we can do more research.
Yeah, some of the students may figure out a project to work with you.
It will be really nice to incorporate all the natural and arts innovations.
Yeah, the Alzheimer's Okay.
So hopefully we can incorporate the therapy.
So in your MRI suite, will you be able to do functional imaging? Is it 3T GEs? Okay, great. Yeah, this is the same as we have in Toronto.
So I'm pretty sure we can figure out some research study.
How much? Do you know how much the hourly rate will be for like a researcher?
We haven't figured that out yet. But over here is more commercial, but obviously we can figure out.
When would you have the scanner installed?
By the end of this year.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is perfect. So by December we'll be able to see.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of inpatient flow as well, so we can get the inpatient.
Lots of parking Alzheimer's, everything.
Yeah, this is great.
So the research won't be a
Yeah, I think principal will send contact between us. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So Talvi will get contact with you.
Sure. So any luck getting the battery working?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sir, do you feel that is perfectly right, whatever is put?
I can't tell because it feels good. Are the other, can you check and see if the other sensors are off?
So the switch is on.
This one's on?
Blue light is on, no?
Turn it off here.
Turn it off. Just press it. She knows how to do it. Just yeah, she knows.
It feels comfortable.
This way.
Maybe one of these are interfering with this. Looks like it's I've never done this where I have 3 gadgets at the same time trying to fight. Yeah, that might be the problem. Always technical problems. Turn it on now? Yeah, you have the manual. Yeah, exactly. Same one. But this is old software. So the new software we buy from the company costs $99 per month to use. Yeah, it's not free. It's free, but you can only collect 4 or 5 data sets. I can't remember how many.
This is implemented by Tanley. This is implemented by Tanley.
It's implemented by this company, Emotive. Yeah, this is Emotive Epic. Company, yeah. All right, so we're failing again. I think we have to do some problem solving. But this feels good. I don't know if anyone. I mean, look.
It has come. It has come.
Oh yeah. Look.
It is coming. It is coming. See.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down. And I think we have like what we want. Magic. Yeah. It's not me. It's someone's magic behind us. So then, what you would do at this stage is so the 2 reference electrodes are working. So you would go through and find where the red one is and where the black ones are, and try to push it on wherever it is. So this one is this one. So I push this down, and it might get better than red.
And this one, there is no, it is not attached to something.
Yeah. So then shove one of those things in.
I guess this one.
Yeah. Shove one in.
Yes, madam, you try. You wanted to try.
Yeah, try. And so the dream would be, so I would not collect data with this bad signal, because you're missing 3 or 4 of them, right? How many are missing? I can't see. Yeah, so 3 are missing.
They change you up?
Yeah, and then, I don't know if anyone's close to my computer there, but if you click the, so see how there's tabs there, expressive suite, affective suite, cognitive suite. If somebody could use my laptop and push affective suite, we can see the waveforms. Yeah. But the signal's very bad, right?
Yeah.
So we want to get good signal. So see, this is somehow measuring, I don't know, the algorithm is measuring mood. So I look bad, I look happy, I look sad, I don't know how it's doing. But go to the affective one, it shows waveforms. Right? So now this is a time expression of what you just saw on the previous one. And I didn't code this, so I have no idea what it's doing. Right? And of course we know that the signal is bad because you saw the sensors on my head. 4 or 5 of them are black or red, right? You want to have almost all of them green, and you can see at the top, whatever it is left.
Yes.
Right? There's 1, 2, 3 black, so there's no signal that's good there. And then the red one is what you don't want. Yeah. Yellow, green, and orange, or green and yellow and orange are tolerable. But then there's a cost benefit, right? You have the subject sitting here, and you want to get data, so you have to figure out if it's good or not, right? So if you had your mother here, at some point you say, well, I'm just going to collect data. So do the experiment, and then I'd close my eyes for 3 minutes, I would look at a computer screen here in front of me, no one else would be in the room, it would be empty, everyone would walk out, right? We do the resting state. If we're doing this, where everyone's watching me, it's a social experiment, I'm listening to people talk, I'm talking, all that.
The signal that boy
Yeah.
was telling about chanting, how
Yeah,
we will get the
chanting and
same
stuff.
experiment.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
talking and we are collecting. the
Exactly,
signals.
but my emotional and physical state, I'm actually kind of hungry with a headache. And thirsty. And kind of annoyed because we have too many disconnections. But at least we know this one's connected. People can practice doing this.
15 minutes. The tea is arranged for students also.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take a break, it sounds like.
We will announce that sir is hungry of tea.
What's that?
Hungry of tea.
Hungry, I need lots of tea, yeah.
You are hungry of tea.
I need
Tea
tea,
is
yeah.
arranged.
But so this is the idea, right? And you collect whatever experiment you're doing with the person, and then you take it off, you clean it up, you take the sensors out because you don't want it to corrode on the gold tips. You dry it up and you put it away in the box for the next person.
So can I put it out?
Can I go to next one, sir? Cool, I'm curious.
He wants to check the another screen.
Another button. Can you check?
Try. Yeah, try. I don't know what this, I've never used these before. I've used the effective one a little bit, but we've never done it. So, but again, the signal is bad.
Please be seated.
Right, the signal is very bad.
I feel they will get entangled in the hair.
Oh, that happens sometimes, yeah.
So now
So we don't cut the hair. You just, but this happens, right?
Yeah, because of this clusters.
Yeah. So that's why you,
We'll put
that's
on
why
my head
you
and
lift
see
it.
entangles or not.
Yeah, you lift it over and then you put it on and then you massage it. So you get good at placing
Why
it.
don't we just sit up?
Yeah.
Now,
So this, I don't know what this is doing, but if I turn my head,
This is the moment of
I think
all algorithms using my head.
now only 2 sensors
But
are
it's
bad.
probably a motion artifact, it's not my brain signal,
है ना?
right?
Now only 2 sensors are.
Yeah, see? So now it's very bad. So we turn off mine, and maybe we move my computer closer to kombucha and see. Yeah, you can take it off. And then you might lose some tips. Yeah. And that's normal. And so when we collected data at the dance class, we would only collect data from 1 or 2 people per week. Right? So we wouldn't try to do too many people and sign up too many people in a row, because if something went wrong, or the subject got messed up, or the experimenter couldn't do it properly, you would lose the 5 people. So we would only do 1 or 2 people per day. Right? Yeah. And the person who would do it is perfectly good at doing it. No one here is trained, not even me. I'm an untrained person teaching you guys, which is not good, right? But there's YouTube videos on how to put it on. There's lots of things the company is very good. Yeah. Okay, so if I unplug this, it's okay, right?
I think Ambuja is trying something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's too far.
Closer to the laptop.
Yeah.
Ambuja ma'am, closer to the laptop.
Yeah, ma'am. You're becoming the professional. Go ahead. Go.
Switch it on now. No. Push.
And all of you will learn very quickly.
Somebody pick up that button there.
Switched on.
And as I told you yesterday, there was only one person who was placing it wrong on the head a little bit. But when you guys are at the stage where we're collecting real data, you will all know perfectly. Right? Like what we started doing is you take a picture of the person from the side before and a picture of the post one to make sure that the person has the same position on the head. Right? For like just for your lab notes, not for like video or not.
They are
for
in
archive.
even this one is defective. That's because of you are feeling that we are not able to tighten this.
But it is not even touching to my
This skull could touch. The thing is, it is
Yeah.
not touching
So
with
all
the
the
skull.
students and faculty members, please proceed to 707. Tea, coffee and biscuits are arranged. And we meet again here in 10
The
minutes.
thing is, it is not touching the skull.
Thank you.
So it is not
there
getting
is
the
a skull.
connectivity that it needs.
माझ्या तर काही डोक्याला कुठंच चिकटलं नाही.
Yeah, that is what
सर्वच कुठं तरी चिकटलं. What did you say?
What do you think?
It's not dupatta. Yeah, I have created this.
ले तो कर कुछ.
I can spend time in anything. Take something old and make something new out of it.
ये वो उसका उसके बैक में जाएगा.
This I have made
Back
when
में
my
क्यों
mother
जाएगा?
was fractured in her shoulder.
एक
So
से.
she wanted to put something on her. No? That day sitting over there.
चालू तो करेक्ट.
हाँ, उनका ही एक प्राणी लेकर के उसका
तो कुछ ब्रेक कर मेरे कुछ दिख नहीं रहा कुछ ऐसे कैसे तो दिखा. माइक से बोलना, माइक से कुछ बोल के. मास्टर से गेम तो चालू कर मेरे. गेम नहीं देगा तो क्या तो है. हेलो चेक माइक चेक. हेलो चेक. बड़ा कह रहा हूँ अब जो बोलेगा उसके ऊपर डिपेंड. हाँ माइक कितना दूर से पकड़ रहा है. हेलो चेक माइक चेक. हेलो चेक. हेलो चेक. हेलो चेक. ये देख. हेलो चेक. हेलो. अब वो तो सामने वाले पे डिपेंड करता है कि कितना दूर से बोल रहा है कैसे बोल रहा है. हाँ तो उनको जाके बोलो कि सर माइक सामने पकड़ो थोड़ा. हेलो चेक माइक चेक. हेलो.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hello. Check, check.
हेलो चेक माइक चेक. हेलो चेक.
impact of sleep, right? Huh. So not having sleep for many reasons it is possible, but he would like to work on the identifying impact of sleep. So sleep as an intervention. Let's model it that way. Sleep as an intervention, because you want to check what is your mental state before sleeping and what is your mental state after sleeping. And then what you will able to do is such how frequently you have to take that readings, that we will discuss with sir, that I don't know. Design of experiment will come later, that I am not very expert in this experiment. Sir will tell us how frequently the readings are required, how much time it will require. So based upon that we will decide the experiment. But the idea is sleep as an intervention. What we have to list out is which can be our intervention, and then what is the expected output that he will tell us. So sleep as an intervention, who all will work with him? Raise 4 persons. 4 persons group is okay. 4 is good. So 1 person is already, he is there. 3 persons who will like to join him. Sleep you would like to work on? अरे हो जाएगा ठीक है. You raised your hand, it means your inner voice is saying that you would like to work on this. Come, no problem. So take 3 persons name who would like to join him. Sleep as an intervention, he wants to work on that. Or you find out 3 persons on your own, that's not a problem. Okay, which is the next idea? Which is the next idea? हेलो, बाकी के लोग दूसरे कुछ बातचीत करने का नहीं है, अभी एक काम शुरू है ना, ये कंप्लीट करना है हमें. Please excuse me. Yes, which should be the idea? You would like to join him for this, sleep as an intervention? No, so what is your idea? Everybody has to participate in either of the experiments. So what is your idea? So what is wrong in joining him? If you don't have idea, join him. So what is the idea? Of what? Intervention. You have to check one intervention. No, the stress can be a parameter to be checked, but which intervention you want to see? Like sleep is an intervention. So stress can be checked or something else can be checked. After work. Where, which work you want to check upon?
Professional work.
That is again vague. Which group you are looking into? Teachers. Teachers of this institute. So what is your plan? They come and they go on that you want to check? No, experiment has to be properly set up. No, it's like it's something is in your mind to crystallize it. See, compare your statement with his statement. If when I accept that sleep as an intervention, what we are going to do before sleeping, some parameters we have to check. Record it using cap. After sleep, maybe 2 hours sleep, 3 hours, that sir will tell us how to measure it. So after that, again we will record the signals. So like that, what all that, suppose you say you are teachers. When would you like to test them and when would you like? So you want to check them before they, just once they enter it and once they leave it. Okay, so 4 person can take this experiment. So who are the 4 persons? Intervention, this 7 persons in one group is not acceptable. We have to have 4 persons a group. Just 1 minute. At the most 4 person. You can find out two topics, 7 persons. Manageability is also important, no? I am not saying it is not compulsory. I will be happy that you will have different ideas. So workplace stress is good idea, but then as you said, your teachers you will examine and you will get 50 teachers. two groups working on that is also not a problem. That is also okay. That is also okay. Even you can think of the group of teachers who are staying nearby or who are having their own vehicles. They don't have vehicles. They come by train. Many things. There are women teacher. There are men teacher. They have different. They are young teachers, senior teachers. Yeah, yeah. You can take. There are 200 teachers. No, so for four groups. Hmm. So the one group can select that itself. Sir, you can take this. You are interested in yoga, na? Yeah, and whatever activities you are doing, you analyze them only. Then you will create good record of that. Madam has control over all those subjects. That is important. Finding out subject is not very easy thing. So this is good. You who all are working on that? There are many. 3, 4 groups can work on this. You are 7 people or 8 people? 7 people. So make 3 groups of you. And then work on what? Non-teaching, teaching.
Office staff we can take.
That's what they are saying. Teaching and administrative staff. Hmm. And you yeah, male, female, these things.
Sports department, there are sports students also. What after playing, before playing, what?
Very possible. So 3 groups you can decide on your own people. Teachers, supports, no administrative.
Different
Yes.
types of the sports are there. Indoor, outdoor.
You who said you got 3 persons with you? You find out 3 persons. What about you? What is your idea? Yes. Yes. People. She wants to check. Yeah, but the people who are living with family. हां पण त्याचं मोजर कधी करणार तुम्ही ते नाही मला कळलं आपल्याला एकाच व्यक्तीचं
कंट्रोल एक घेऊया नॉर्मल पर्सन कंट्रोल
हां
अँड मग लोनली पर्सन
हो पण मग त्याला इंटरव्हेन्शन दिलं पाहिजे आणि मग पोस्ट इंटरव्हेन्शन काढलं पाहिजे मग त्यांना कुटुंबात ढकलायला पाहिजे आणि ढकलून आणायला पाहिजे असं होणार ना दॅट मे हॅपन यू कॅन टेक हॉस्टेल गर्ल्स अँड बिफोर दे कम दे गो ग्रेट रिसर्चर ते तुमच्या ह्याचे ॲक्टिव्ह योगा क्लब आहे ना त्याचे ते योगा ॲज अन इंटरव्हेन्शन बिफोर कमिंग टू द क्लास व्हॉट हॅपन्स गिरीश तेरे सर हो 3 girls you got great girls very enthusiastic हां सर काल सांगत होते की मला काय कोणी मिळणार नाही म्हटलं हात वर करा किती पाहिजे देते तुम्हाला शोधून आणि तुमच्याच कॉलेजमध्ये ते ॲक्टिव्हिटी चालते नाही नाही तुमचेच सर आहे तुमच्याच कॉलेजमध्ये ॲक्टिव्हिटी चालते तुम्हीच तिथे येऊन घ्यायचं हां आणि ते जेव्हा योगा क्लास सुरू होतो तेव्हा जाऊन त्यांच्या रिडिंग घ्यायचं आहे त्यांचा योगा क्लास संपल्यानंतर ते मला that is anyway we are going to do it but first of all we shall fix up this that I was suggesting we all will put up the cap and take our own readings and everybody has different kind of intelligence so then later on we will do clustering on that and see what are the possibilities good sir is also there yes
So we are there for the ideas.
no we will fix one idea now
For everyone?
3 to 4 persons one group
हम लोग का आर्ट
persons for getting
we will get it we will take some
and it will be everybody
sure
हम लोग का आठ लोग हैं you're not taking 8 people group obviously so we're dividing the group into
थिंग्स इन प्लेस फर्स्ट ना।
हम लोग ग्रुप डिवाइड हो गए, हमें टॉपिक्स मिल गए, सो हम लोग आपको ग्रुप का डिवीजन दे कैसे कैसे डिवाइड किया।
हाँ, आपको क्या करना है वही आपने जो डिसाइड किया है ना, प्रॉब्लम 4 लोगों ने, वो लिखना, उसके बारे में कुछ रिसर्च बाकी के लोग क्या कर रहे हैं वो पढ़ना, एंड वो प्रेजेंटेशन में वही दिखाना।
जॉनरा अलग अलग ले ले तो टॉपिक भी पूरा कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट हो जाएगा ना।
come with information about your topic, and then you can present it here. Is it okay, madam? Yes.
So what we have decided so far is, in one group there can be 3 to 4 persons. Group should not be bigger than that. Hmm? There can be one topic shared in two groups with some parameters changes. So that is possible. And I assume that now 3 to 4 persons, 2 persons group is also okay, but get 3 to 4 person, because you require buddies always to speak, you discuss, write, avail the resources, lots of things. So get 3 to 4 person in a group, find out a topic. The while selecting a topic, what you have to decide, think is that works as an intervention. What does that mean? As I was telling, if sleep is an intervention, then before sleep you will record the data, after sleep you will record the data. So in this form you have to make the title: sleep as an intervention, dance as an intervention, work as an intervention, or whatever, yoga as an intervention. So that way, whatever, somebody said reading as an intervention, good. So those kind of X as an intervention is our title template. Hmm? And then in your first slide, what you will present, what is the intervention you have selected, who are your group mates, बस, एंड उनका क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है, क्योंकि आपके ग्रुप में थोड़ी सी वैरायटी हो गई तो होती है तो अच्छा ही है, किसी को क्या आता है, किसी को दूसरा कुछ आता है, कंट्रीब्यूशन विल बी रिचर, राइट. देन second slide, what we expect is, what are the types of experiment happening in this domain by using any options. They may not use this kind of device, but there will be people working on different, the same, say for example yoga. Sir was telling me yesterday ki lots of experiment have been happened, right. Then what are those experiments, who conducted that experiment, what were their results. So that kind of literature survey you please do today. I am not saying ki we expect great research, literature survey, but some literature survey. So at least 3-4 people doing that experiment. What are the outputs, why should we do that? It will give you clarity of idea ki what the people are doing and what I am doing. If you don't do that, I cannot teach everybody ki yes, do this. I cannot miss none of your mentors. We will give you time later, but since start, what you have to do is develop habit. So read what others are doing. Research papers are available. Google search will do anything. So the second slide will have this content. What others have done on such an intervention remains unchanged. Other people, what they have done, right? And what are their outputs. And then third slide, you decide your experiment. Your experiment means where are you going to find 50 objects, subjects for your data collection? How frequently you will visit that place? What is possible for you? And don't take something not possible, something that is not possible. Means she says ki she likes to work on dance, but if she doesn't know where can she get 50 subjects for who are dancing, then that cannot be a right topic for her. But if she knows, yes, there is a dance club to whom I can contact, and 50 people I can be going there for 6 months, 7 months, and regular basis I will generate data. Then that's the right choice. So make sure that you will be with your topic for another 6-7 months, 1 year or so. Since one good example is that somebody said reading. Why I selected that? Reading, any reading you go, a library is anyway available. Just you have to find out 50 persons, give them some identifications. Next time you will go and talk to them only. Slowly, if you find out, okay, they are reading something, you can introduce one more parameter. Read Marathi, read English, read your mother tongue, read this, read that. Some topic wise of the study material, non-study material, fiction. Then these all components will keep on giving you different readings. That gives you an idea for preparing a good paper. So dimensionality can be explored in this fashion. So, but then think that at least 50% you will be able to check very frequently, right? So that you have to give setup, your imagined experimental setup in the third slide. But that is enough. Everybody is ready to do this? Every group, rather, not everybody. So fine, I think this is what we are expecting you to come with tomorrow. Any difficulty in this? And think, it is not that I said no, this is not a good topic, you just ignore me. I am telling you sincerely, and no angry, nothing. I am happy if you select any topic, if they are confined to these 3 constants. First of all, you should be able to find out 50%. First of all, it has to be a kind of intervention, designing. Then you will have 50 persons in that, in your group, you will be able to go and visit and collect the data. And you will read material on that and prepare one slide on that. Is this okay? And then mentors, definitely they are there. We are always there. Not a problem. Good. Any difficulty, any query, anything more you want to add? All my colleagues also, means I'm not saying I am the great. I have just attempted. You all can please add up to this. Yes, Rekha madam? They are really good. Everybody is good, sir. Hmm. Successful. Experiment successful. Yeah. Hmm. Good. So, you want to add something, madam? On this, is this okay? So, sir, shall we wind up now? I think I'm done. Sir, you want to say something? What I said was okay, or you want to add something?
It's great. So I just want to thank everyone for your time. It was hard today. You're trying to learn to be subjects and experiments. When I started doing EEG, I was already an experimenter somewhere 15 to 20 years, right, of learning how to do experiments. So don't be hard on yourself if you can't get it done right away. Be patient, be diligent, and if there is someone like these students just figuring it out, they've now tried 2 caps and they have luck. So some people will have luck too, right? And if they have luck, they will teach you how to be lucky. Because science is 2/3 hard work and 1/3 luck, in my experience. Right? Because if you want to go to the next stage of life, whatever it is, master's degree, PhD degree, get a faculty job, you have to be lucky at every stage. And these people who are up here, these mentors that got to this stage, and me, I told you about me yesterday, I was so lucky, right? And it's a lot of luck. A lot of hard work, but a lot of luck. And I think it's 1/3 to 2/3. Okay, so that's all I want to say. Thank you for coming. Like, it's great that you're all trying this, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Yes, I think for today's program, whoever has taken the photographs or the videos, because that is required for the record purpose, right? Everything, whenever we are conducting any activity, ultimately we'll have to write a report, right? And for that purpose, I think you can, yes, you can write down save my number 961. Yeah, what's it? 961 951 9212. Yes, 961 951 9212. Okay, you can share all these photographs. Ultimately, I can share even in our group, so that everyone can take it, right?
You all did a very good job. Thank you. Celebrated Marathi Bhasha Day and Vijnan Din.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Vijnan Din. There will be Marathi Day.
Tomorrow mostly we'll use Marathi Bhasha.
That's all. So no problem. Good. So I'm very happy. Everybody
Again.
Sir.
Yes.
Okay, just a minute.